first of all, there are two things. Number one, it is impossible to support the troops and not support what they're doing, because that's what a troop is. Hey, I support my football squad, but I don't want them to go out there and win on Saturday because, I really don't want them to hit the other team really, really hard on the line of scrimmage because that wouldn't be nice. But hey, I support our kids and hope they do well. They are soldiers. They volunteered for this. It's what they signed up for. It is their mission.
Exactly.
You cannot separate the soldier from the mission. So if you are wearing a bumper sticker on your car that says support the troops, end the war, you're a moron practicing self-refuting philosophy. It is what they signed up to do. Just a second. Militaries exist for two things: to kill people and break things. Now I will say this, though. This idea that we can just give freedom to an area of the world that has it absolutely nowhere. Oh, I know. Egypt's a democracy with the same president getting 90% of the vote for 25 years, okay? That's not a democracy. They don't have a concept of free will like we have in the West. There is no. I mean, they engage in a circular reasoning. There is no. Even the concept of separation of church and state, which the church, by the way, first introduced, not the state, is a completely foreign concept to them. It simply won't work. The way that we are trying to do it. They do not have the infrastructure for it. They don't have the social institutions to do it. And that's why we have seen more Americans die since the invasion ended than we did while the invasion was going on. So folks have asked me, what should we do? Well, I said 2 years ago what I thought we ought to do. Declare Iraq the 51st state of the Union. Take all their oil, sell it on the open market for $30 a barrel or less. Let them keep all the profits because it's their oil. We just want to pay cheaper per gallon of gasoline and drive all the rest of our costs down that are affiliated with oil and flood the market with cheap oil. And you tell that dude in Iran whose name I can't pronounce, and the Syrians, that the next time, since this is now sovereign U.S. territory, the next time we find anybody in there that remotely looks like they came from one of your towns, boom. Hey, guess what? Damascus isn't there anymore.
But
Good morning
Steve,
to you.
We can't do that. You know that.
And that's why we'll lose.
We don't have the stomach to fight.
And that's why we're losing. That's why we're at best plugging holes in a leaky dike. Right. Because wars have always been won one way. You kill with impunity. Right. As much of the opposition as you possibly can before they kill you.
And that is very apparent listening to these young men saying, you know what, I am not going back. The way we fight this war, we cannot win.
We have people go back again and again. They man the same area of the green zone over and over again. They rebuild the same infrastructure over and over and over again. And that's the reality of this. Yeah. They are not like us. And here's the other irony. We are attempting to give them a democracy system that we don't even have here. We have a Republican form of government, small r. We're giving them a parliamentary form of government like what England has, which our founders actually rejected that form of democracy and didn't even instill it here. Why are we doing that? Why? Because, see, here's the dirty little secret nobody wants to tell you. See, we're trying to bring them a secular democracy. We're not trying to bring them the American Revolution. We're trying to bring them the French Revolution, where a lot of people died. Because the French Revolution wasn't fought in the name of God, who says we has called us to be free. It's inalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? No, it was fought in the name of power to the people. That's why they've had 6 constitutions. That's why that government is always in flux. And that's why we haven't faced a lot of the same challenges that they have. We can't even bring them our own form of government because you know why? Because if we do that, then we got to have a conversation. Well, then who's this creator God Thomas Jefferson is referring to? Is it the same one that they have? Is it a different one? Are they one and the same? And that's a really uncomfortable conversation to have in this politically correct world. So it's just easier to believe that we all randomly evolved from the same values-neutral environment, vat of chemicals. And if you just give people access to social institutions, money, and other people's money per se, and education, they will, because they're inherently good, make all the right decisions. They won't make decisions, like, I don't know, blowing up their own holy shrines, blowing up their own in-laws and neighbors. They won't make those kinds of decisions. Oh, wait, yes, that's the very decisions they're making. And they've been making those decisions long before the United States ever came into existence, and unless Jesus comes back, they will be making those decisions long after the United States ceases to exist.
Well, I'm
done.
Thank you. I hate to tell you, but if Jesus comes back, he'll take care of them anyway. So
we have to get to a break. We'll let you finish when we come back.
All this and brains too It's Dace in the Afternoon on News Radio 1040 WHO.